Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a video about what I've learned since I had my first baby at 15. So starting off with, if you've read my blog you will know like the story and everything, but I thought I would just recap to anyone that doesn't know. So I had my son when I was 15. I got pregnant at 14 and his dad and I weren't together when I had Kai, and I didn't really know what I was doing at all. I was so glad to have such amazing parents to help me out because I literally just didn't have a clue. And a lot of the things that I did back then I definitely wouldn't have done now, like for instance getting so many like baby clothes at once, like getting all the sizes at once and just having loads and loads of baby clothes. I haven't done that this time. I've just purchased them as he needed them, so we haven't got a lot of storage in our flat, so it's easier to just buy them and then sell the ones that we don't need, that no longer fit him. So another thing is I was also living with my parents and I had Kai in my bedroom with me until he was around 2 years old, I think it was. So I didn't have like my own space or anything like that. So whereas this time I have my own flat with my boyfriend Tom, who is Eddie's dad. We're obviously still together, and I've got my own money now, whereas I didn't before. I've also learned that things like breastfeeding, you have no need to be anxious about it. Like it's a scary thought at first because you don't, or for me anyway, I didn't really know what I was doing this time around, so it took me a while to get the hang of like latching him on and everything like that. So whereas like that's the reason I didn't breastfeed Kai, was because I was scared of doing it in public and just sort of whacking my boob out in public. So whereas now I wouldn't be worried about that at all, but with all the lockdown that happened, we didn't need to go outside anyway. So I suppose it was sort of not a good thing, but it just sort of helped me a little bit in that aspect, so I could get the hang of it and just spend time with my baby. And I would definitely recommend getting a Moses basket or a small crib before, which I didn't beforehand either. I literally just put Kai straight in his cot, his big cot, which was massive for him because he was a month early. He only weighed £6 3.5 ounces, so he was tiny. And having that Moses basket with Eddie, it was just so easy because we could just move it around, so he could have a nap in the Moses basket in the lounge with us. And I've also done so I breastfed Eddie for 3 weeks. I did plan to breastfeed him for a year, but unfortunately my milk supply just didn't last and it sort of ran out. And it got to the point where I was pumping like every couple of hours and I wasn't producing enough to feed Eddie for his feed. So we slowly went on to formula, and I used the Hip Organic baby formula. And with Kai, I literally just went straight up with formula from the word go. I used SMA with Kai, and yeah, he was absolutely fine on it, so that's a good thing. Luckily none of my babies have been funny with milk or anything like that. They haven't really been very sicky or anything like that. Eddie did get a little bit sort of congested at first, so we had to use some of that Infocol to help him bring up his wind, but ever since we stopped having to use that, he just is absolutely fine now. So another thing that I've done differently, what I didn't do last time, was making sure to have like more of a routine, and making sure Eddie goes to bed and has a bottle at around the same time every night, and then just putting him down, and he does actually sleep from about 10:30 to about 8, I think it is now. So he is really good for sleeping through the night. And obviously where we haven't had the help of the health visitors or midwives, we've pretty much just had to like, well, not do it ourselves because we do that anyway, but like just sort of do what we think is right rather than having like recommendations and opinions from everybody else. One thing I would say as well, which I was constantly concerned about last time, is don't ever compare yourself to another mum in the way some mums might do things differently to what you do, but it doesn't mean that either of you are wrong. It just means you parent differently. It's the same with weaning. So you can wean a baby from 17 weeks, but they recommend 6 months. But I actually fed Kai at 4 months, which is just after 17 weeks. And I plan on doing the same with Eddie. And obviously that's my decision as a mum, because I think that's what's best for him. And this time as well, I've been a lot more chilled and just learned to sort of take a deep breath if I'm starting to get what's the word? Stressed. I literally just take a deep breath and just calm down, because I know it's not going to be doing Eddie any favours or Kai any favours if I'm stressed out, and it definitely does reflect on them. Like where me and Tom are just constantly chilled all the time, Eddie is a very, very contented and chilled baby. I think personally that's why he is a content baby, but other people might think different. I've also learned that this time, with everything that's going on, I wanted to only introduce Eddie to people that were close to us as well. So like his grandparents and like a close friend of mine, and just family really, and not having people constantly around all the time and like just wanting to hold him all the time, because I didn't want that anyway. Even if all of this stuff didn't happen, I don't like the fact of people just passing the baby around, if you get what I mean. But he is actually 4 months today, so I think that's pretty much all I've done differently this time. But a lot of what I had planned in my head, I literally had a whole list of things I wanted to do with Eddie, but I think you just need to sort of know that things don't always go to plan in that aspect. Like I planned on swaddling Eddie, using certain nappies, certain wipes and everything like that, and breastfeeding for a year, but sometimes it just doesn't work out the way that you want it to, and that's okay as well. As long as you're still doing what's best for your baby, then it doesn't really matter how you do it. So I think that's the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed listening about things I've done differently this time round. And please subscribe and like if you would like to, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!